Hi, my name's Liz Thompson, and this is an introductory video to IME 315, Financial Decision Making for Engineers, spring quarter of 2021. So what I'm going to cover today is I'm going to just give you a welcome, which I already did. Tell me a little bit about myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about the last year or so that we've been enduring, and then really talk specifically about what to expect in the course. So this video is sort of like the first day of introductory in a regular in-person class, but I'm doing it on video because we're not together. So I'm going to go through expectations, grading, due dates, organization, and how to contact me. So a little bit about myself. My name is Liz Thompson. I used to go by Liz Schlemer, and anyway, I've changed my name to Thompson. So if you hear either of those names, that's who I am. I have deep connections to Cal Poly. I had 2 children go to school here. I actually went to school here, and I've been on campus for probably, I think it's been close to 30 years. So I have very deep connection to Cal Poly. I'm also involved in Engineers Without Borders and Critical Global Engagement clubs on campus. I'm the co-advisor for those clubs, and I'm pretty active in issues related to that. There's a lot of conversations in those clubs about who we are in the world and what engineers do and things like that. So that's pretty important to me. Last year, I was at Cal State LA all year. I was a visiting professor there in engineering education, so I have a connection to Cal State LA. I'm very interested in social justice issues and power, and particularly how they relate to engineering. And you'll see in this class, you'll see some issues related to social justice as you go through the content of this class. My research area is education, so even though I teach engineering, I research in engineering education. And I look at things that I call structural changes, like grading or like asynchronous classes, and how that impacts learning. I'm also interested in integrated learning, so including learning in an integrated way where we look at engineering and also the context in which we do engineering. Another thing, I'm teaching a new class this quarter in change management, so that's also a very an interesting topic for me to think through. I had 10 years of experience before I started teaching. I have an IE undergrad from Cal Poly SLO. I have a master's in industrial and systems engineering and an MBA from USC. I have a PhD in education from UCSB, and actually I've been at Cal Poly for 28 years. So thinking about, that's a little bit about me. I can tell you other things too, but that's a little bit about me. I am interested in just to think through what happened to us in 2020. COVID, we had to shift to online instruction. There was a huge amount of economic uncertainty, George Floyd's murder and the subsequent Black Lives Matter protest, California wildfires, and then what else could happen. It was a pretty crazy year. But 2021, I'm hoping for a little bit of cool water on that dumpster fire, but it didn't start out right on the insurrection that occurred on January 6th. But we do have a lot of hope related to the vaccine. So I just really want to recognize that this is an unusual time for everybody, and I know it's unusual for you also, and I just want to recognize it. So when I think about this course, I just really want to emphasize this is a fully online asynchronous course, which means that you never have to show up at a particular time, and all the work is done through Canvas. I have certain expectations that I will have that you can have of me, and then I also would like to talk about what expectations I have of you. I'm going to talk about grading and due dates, the organization of the Canvas site, and how to contact me. So an important thing to look at is this particular place on the Canvas site, which I think you probably already got there if you're watching this video, because this is where that video is. But this is kind of like what I would consider the syllabus of the class. It has all the information related to the course. Particularly, it has about the expectations as one thing that's in that logistics sections. And I actually would like to read this to you because I want to be clear about the things that you can expect of me. So as an instructor, I will recognize this unusual time we are living through by accommodating your needs to the best of my ability and attending to current events when appropriate. I will attempt to see you for who you are rather than through stereotypes. I will welcome different ways of understanding, knowing, and being. I will attempt to understand your point of view. I will attempt to be fair, including fair consideration of ideas. I will prepare the course content so that I don't waste your time. I will use the most current scientific understanding of how people best learn. And I will trust that you know yourself and your needs, interests, and values better than I do. So that's what I promised to do. And if you can see on that logistics section, I'm going to ask you to enter what we can count on you to do. So what can me and the rest of the class count on you for? So I'll ask you to go ahead and fill that out. So let's move to grading. I think grading is always one thing that is interesting and I know you're interested in. So this course is a little bit different. You can get really 3 grades in the class. The first is a C. So you can get a C, and in order to get a C or pass the class, you need to complete 90% of the assignments, discussions, and quizzes, pass the 2 tests that I'm giving in the course with a 90% or higher score, but there'll be multiple options to get that 90%. So that will earn you a C in the class. And I know this is a little bit odd because the 90% often in your mind relates to an A. But in this class, the basics to pass the class is you need to be able to do the content that are on the 2 exams at a very high level, 90% level. Then you will pass the class with a C. If you would like to get a B, you'll do those requirements for a C, and then you'll do 1 project. If you want to get an A, you'll do the content for a C plus 2 projects. So you can actually, at this moment in time, decide what grade you're going to get because everybody in the class is getting a C. So then the question is, how much work do I want to put in? And how interesting is this content to me? And so that will reflect what grade you can get. One thing I want to tell you is assignments, discussion posts, and quizzes have suggested due dates posted on Canvas, but these are suggested. This will just help you keep on track, but they are not any hard deadlines until Friday, June 11th. Everything needs to be done by then so that I can actually calculate the grades. When you get an assignment, you're going to get 2 grades from the grader, either a 0.5, which means it's not quite correct, but you can resubmit it, or you can get a 1.0, which indicates that you have full credit. If you resubmit it, the grade will ultimately be changed to a 1 once you get the assignment correct. Exams will be given in a online, in a take-home format for a 24-hour window, and the dates of the exams are right here. There will also be retakes of the exam several days later until you get a 90% on that exam. The last thing I want to recognize, if you're going to do a project, they're also due at the end of finals week, which is on Friday, June 11th. So given all this information, I actually think you can answer the question at the very bottom of this slide is what grade do you want in the class? And I'm going to ask you to do that for credit in this class. So let's go through the organization. I'm sure you've seen the home page. You can see that there's content for the first exam and then content for the second exam. And that's just, you can just follow through that content as we go through. In order to connect with me, there's several different ways to connect with me. Email me, message through Canvas, office hours, which are posted on Canvas. I can also request an office hour or a meeting at a different time than office hours. Texting or phone calls are all ways to get a hold of me. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an introduction to the class, and I look forward to connecting with you any way that we might be able to do that. Thanks.